We're going to talk. So we spoke on Monday about koshering utensils. I want to make sure to see if anybody here has any questions about that.
Yeah, could you give a little synopsis? Because I wasn't able to come Monday. I
Yeah.
wasn't able to attend. A little brief
Well,
synopsis of
that's
what
a
happened.
lot to ask,
No,
Felice,
no,
but you
okay.
can watch the class. They're going to put
Oh,
it on the
I mean, yeah,
website.
did you record it? You recorded it? I should have asked that first. I'm sorry. You did
No,
record
it's
the class.
okay. Yeah. It's recorded. But if you had a specific question, but I can't give a synopsis of an hour
Oh,
and a
no, no,
half
no, no.
or
It
an
was
hour and a
just about,
quarter.
no, it was just about how to clean what to kosher, how,
No, it's fine. That's not the issue. You don't have to apologize. I meant if somebody had a very specific question that either wasn't clear or that I didn't respond to, I
Oh,
want to make sure.
I have just you may
Yeah,
have responded, but I didn't, I was, yeah. Um, the faucet of the sink where you wash dishes, I usually change that. That should be changed, right? Somebody said
I
you could
don't.
change I mean, where
What do
the
you mean the
spout,
faucet?
no, the spout, when you turn on the water, it comes down the spout. So they could screw
What is it
water,
made out of?
like a plastic with,
I
like,
mean, if you think it's time to change it, it's
no,
nice
no,
to.
no, 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 no. Because when you wash dishes, sometimes crumbs go up from the cake pan. You're washing the cake
I
pan.
don't think that
Well,
the taste could be absorbed into the plastic.
oh, that's interesting. Well, I usually we have that
I mean,
enough.
if you want to
It's a,
change it, how much is it?
maybe 4.99.
I
Not
think
bad.
that it's not really a question. If that's your,
Oh,
I mean, 4.99,
I
so change it.
no
It's
four
probably
nine.
good to change it once a year every day.
It probably went from 4.97. No, I
You
didn't.
know
Yeah,
what? I don't think that changes my answer.
no, no. It's just as
I
wondering if you
don't
knew.
think you have to.
You don't have to. Okay,
You could pour boiling water. You could kasher it like with the rest of the sink. But if that happens to be your custom and you
custom.
like replacing it once a year, I think that's a great idea to replace it
Yeah,
before
something
Pesach.
for new.
Something new.
I also like an urn for hot water that you
So
don't
you know
have to
what,
have.
Felice? We have a terrific file. The file has everything in it.
Oh,
So it'll
great.
tell you exactly. We've had it for a few years now. It's on our Pesach thing. I can send it to you if you wish.
I could
Um,
ask Wendy. It's okay. I'll ask Wendy.
you can also ask Wendy.
Yeah, she's
But
gonna
we
be
have a
doing. She's gonna do that. So
I
those
know,
dishes
I
again.
know,
Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
But what I was going to say is that the file really lists every utensil and
Oh,
how it can be kashered. It's very
and,
cool.
and
In
what is the
detail.
website? What is the website, please? Buy it.org. And then what would you put
Yeah,
on Passover?
thebayit.org/Pesach.
Okay.
And then find on that page. But if you can't find it, let me know and I'll just send you the file. That's fine. I
Okay.
do not
Thank you
mind
very
sending you
much.
the file. My pleasure.
Thanks.
Anybody else have a question about something other than food? We're good. Okay, great. All right. Today we're going to talk about food, a very favorite Jewish subject. Now, we know that on Pesach, we are not allowed to, we spoke about this, to own chametz, whatever chametz is, to eat chametz, and even see chametz that's in our possession. In other words, we shouldn't see it even if it's in our possession or in our home. I mean, if you walk by on the street, you're going to see other people's chametz,
Yeah, but
right? You're going to see.
you have no control over that.
Well, it's not just you have no control; it's not yours.
It's not
So,
yours. That's true.
right. So we're not allowed to. And chametz, it's a funny word in English. It means leavened, and leavened is not a word that we use in our day-to-day language.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. You
So do
could buy
people?
some leaven.
So do people here know what's the reason that we can't have chametz?
But the rise is a little. I think that's when in the baking process, right?
Right, but that's not the reason that we're not allowed to have it. Why are we
The
not
what?
allowed to have chametz? Stephen, you're muted.
Story of my life. Um, because when they left Mitzrayim, there was no time, just grab and go.
Right, and then
That was
grab and
not.
go. So that's a way for us to remember what it was like for the Jews to leave Mitzrayim.
They
They
had
didn't have
no bread,
time.
no time to bake regular bread.
Correct. And therefore it ended up like matzah, so it's a way of remembering. And Hashem commanded us. That's the other answer. It's a biblical prohibition for us to eat it and to own it for not just those 7 or by us 8 days outside of Israel, but also on Erev Pesach. It's extended.
Right.
It gives us that buffer time. So it's extended, and the Bayit has a lot of documents which will tell you when you have to stop eating it, when you have to stop owning it.
Mm-hmm.
So now what we're going to do is understand what is chametz, and I want to give you some background, and then we'll look at the file together. When we think of something that's chametz, so we think of things like bread, crackers, cookies, pasta, right? Does that resonate with people? Those are the
Yeah.
kinds of things that, yeah, yes, thumbs up.
Yes.
Okay, great, great. Now, the question becomes, what is it made out of that causes it to be called chametz? And one way of telling, oh, hello, we have a little visitor. One way of,
Younger student.
we have another student. One way of telling if it is by the bracha that you make on it. Because things that are made of chametz, with the one exception of rice, let's put rice aside, things that are chametz can either be one of two things, generally. I'm not talking about if it has a little bit of chametz in it. That's a separate issue. We're not allowed to have that either. But generally, things that comprise chametz, that you either say borei minei mezonot, if it's a cake or a cookie or a cracker or pasta, I don't know what else, pie, whatever, something, I don't know what else it could be. And if it's bread, you say hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Now, it's not clear because there are so many, many, many different kinds of flours today that you could make things out of, that we really had to understand what are the grains that specifically can make up, let's take a cookie and a bread, okay? That'll be easy. That'll represent the borei minei mezonot, and that'll represent hamotzi lechem min haaretz. So I actually learned this really well because I now can't eat gluten. So I learned what items have gluten in it. Turns out almost everything that's chametz has gluten in it. So almost, not everything. So now we're going to, did everybody understand this? I'm trying to make it clear how we get from step to step to step. Okay.
Excuse me, Bracha. Did you say something about the word browse? I remember.
Yeah, look at you. Here we go.
Yeah, browse.
Oh yeah, browse. So
Browse,
what is, yep, let me actually make this a little bigger. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay. So that's just an acronym that my husband and I came up with. Turns out a lot of people came up with it, but so what? So what is
It's
chametz?
very smart.
Yeah, it is. So, because I never remembered, I don't know, spelt or rye. I would always forget one of them.
Barley, yeah.
So here's the thing. Not every single kind of flour is called chametz. Only those that can be made into something that you say, borei minei mezonot or hamotzi lechem min haaretz. And those can only be if it's one of or more of these 5 flours. Barley, rye, like rye bread. Barley is literally barley, by the way. It could be in a soup, like split pea and barley soup, for example.
Sleepy, right.
One second, Felice.
Okay, I'm not going to say
It's okay. No, I know that you're agreeing, and I get it. But save your voice for when you have questions. Oats, wheat, and spelt. Now, it just turns out that of all these 5, only one doesn't have gluten in it. So this is how I really learned about what I can eat and what I can't eat. I didn't really get all this, but only one of these 5. And all the other grains, pretty much, not all of them, but almost all of them. Farah also is a type of wheat, even though it's called farah, but buckwheat, which is kasha, even though it has the word wheat in it, doesn't have gluten and doesn't have wheat in it. So, you do have to figure it out. But basically, it's these 5. Actually, oats is a question, but we do hold that you make borei minei mezonot on pasta or cookie or cracker made. Now, what about rice? If you have rice cake, is that chametz?
You make mezonot, I know, on rice.
That is correct. Rice is its own special. Yeah, you don't make al-mechir. Rice actually has its own category. Rice, for whatever reason, we make borei minei mezonot on it. It's a very exception to the rules. So you see, it's not one of these 5. So let's say something else. Let's say, I get, I don't know, buckwheat crackers or, no, not spelt. Try and think of what crackers I have. 1 second, let me see.
Sesame seed, maybe?
Here's one. Here's a flour that I tend to use a lot. Anybody heard of this? Cassava flour.
Cassava, yeah.
Everybody have heard of cassava flour? Mm-hmm. So I can use this on Pesach because it doesn't have chametz and it's not kitniot, which we'll discuss what kitniot is. But it's not chametz. So you can make cakes out of this. but it's okay. And the same thing like with potato starch. Is that one of the five brows? No,
No.
it's not one of the five. So first of all, we already understand much better what actually constitutes chametz. Is that clear to people?
Yeah.
Okay. And remember what we said when we learned on Monday. We said that when there's chametz cooked in something like a pot or eaten hot on a plate or with a fork, it gets absorbed. It'll get absorbed if it's heat or sharp like onion or maybe whiskey. Like whiskey actually is chametz because it's made of barley or I don't know what else because I'm not a whiskey person. But you actually can't even kosher flasks that hold whiskey because I think it absorbs it. Not glass, but other ones. So what is it we're not allowed to do with these five grains? Isur achila, forbidden to eat. Isur hana'ah, you're forbidden to have enjoyment from it, meaning you're not supposed to give it to your dog. Because you get enjoyment from it if you give it to your pet. And that, by the way, is complicated. Because sometimes people have pets who refuse to eat other food or you can't find other food. I think I remember that we had to give our fish to somebody and they gave it matzah and it died. I mean, a fish can't eat matzah, right? But you had to find food that was not chametz, because you're not allowed to get hana'ah. So actually, if somebody had an animal, you should know, who they have to give special food that's chametz or they won't eat other food, you actually end up having to sell your dog and the food to a non-Jew. You take care of it for them over Pesach and then after Pesach. Yeah, because you're not allowed to have hana'ah. I just want to make sure that this is clear to people. At every point, if there's any question, please ask me. This is your opportunity to ask me. You can always ask me questions, of course, but I'm right here, so I can answer your questions. If something isn't clear, if something doesn't make sense, if you have an outstanding question, please, 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 please ask the question.
This is just a comment.
Comments.
I
Okay.
remember, if I make it quick, when I was taking a flight a number of years ago, I ordered a kosher meal, and you figured a kosher meal for Passover would be matzah, but they had a roll in it. I said, "What is this?" And it said on it, "Oh, kosher, not touched by anybody." The seal was
It
on
didn't
it.
say kosher lePesach?
It said kosher food, or kosher meal. It was kosher meal because they heated it up separately from the other meal. And I remember pointing out to the stewardess or steward, and they said, "Well, we have nothing to do with that. What they
That's right.
sent
They have
us,
nothing to do with it.
the company sent. This is what
That's
they
terrible.
said. I know, but I'm saying so people should be aware of that. I
That's a
don't know
good
what's
point.
done now.
Thank you, Felice.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
So what kind of foods would inherently be kosher lePesach? I already told you, for example, that all sorts of flours or made of different, not of these five grains, they would be okay. They're not chametz. But here's a partial list of things that would be kosher lePesach for sure, right? Fresh fruits and vegetables, that has to be. I mean, we're going to put kitniot aside. Eggs, meat, poultry, fish, whole spices, sugar, salt without additives. Those are things that don't have any of these five flours, and in their processing should not have any. There is no processing here. So those kinds of things, kosher Pesach. Now, you should all know that, this is a file that we share with everybody. It's on our Pesach page, that we offer here links to these guides. So if you want to look up OU or Star K or CRC or our special FAQs, frequently asked questions, you can just link to our pages and we have all sorts of answers there, all sorts of information. Okay. So we need you to either consult these guides or the Bayit's FAQ to see what foods do need special kosher lePesach supervision, what foods do not need, and what foods may be purchased before Pesach. I'll give you an example. Cassava flour, they don't put out, as far as I know, a kosher lePesach version. But as long as I buy it before Pesach, so I want to explain this to you. This is something that's an important concept. Somebody sent me a text. Not to be, so can you mute? Yes, absolutely. I was asked if people could be muted so that we won't disturb the speaking. So if everybody can mute themselves, but please unmute if you want to ask a question. Okay, I want to explain what is this thing about buying before Pesach and relying on what's called bitul. Felice, I'm going to mute you, okay? Bitul, the word bitul, well, the thing is I do like people to be unmuted because then they can answer questions, but okay. Bitul means nullification, which is something that we spoke about on Monday, that you either have to get rid of your chametz or you have to sell it, or you can nullify it. And that's something that we do. We say kol chamira v'chamir. We say any chametz that happened to be in my possession that I forgot about, didn't know about, I'm making it completely nullified, so I won't own it. Let's say I forgot. I don't know. I forgot to check one of my bags, and there was a granola bar in there, right? Granola is made of oats, so it's actual chametz. So if I find it on Pesach, okay, well, either that or I say that it was sold. It's one or the other. In any case, we nullify so that anything outside that purview should not fall into a place where we own chametz on Pesach. Wait, I was going to explain a bibitul. Okay, so let's say you have something like this. This is a very good example. Cassava flour. It says 100% cassava flour on it, and it doesn't have a kosher lePesach. If it had kosher lePesach supervision, I could buy it on Pesach, no problem, because I know it has zero issue of chametz. It can't be. But let's say it could be possibly a teeny weeny, I don't know, piece of grain of chametz maybe was in it somewhere in the process. It's always possible. So if you have 1 out of, is it 60? I think it's 1/60th of it is chametz. It can be nullified before Pesach. It just is considered like it's nothing. But on Pesach itself, if I bought this and it happened to be there was a teeny weeny bit of chametz, never gets nullified on Pesach itself. So something like this I need to buy before Pesach. But anything that says kosher lePesach on it, not anything. You have things that don't need. You can buy fruits and vegetables on Pesach. There's no chametz in there, right? Eggs don't have chametz. Some people say about eggs, but we say you can get eggs. Salt, pure salt, I guess you'd be able to. Try and think of other things that you could buy on Pesach. But anything that has kosher lePesach on it, no problem buying on Pesach. Jelly and jam and soup mixes and chocolate spread and I don't know, what other foods do we buy? Cans of fruit, cans, right? People buy, what else? What else do we buy on Pesach? Potato pancake mix. All of those things you can buy as long as it says kosher lePesach. But if it doesn't say kosher lePesach, and you know that it is, but it doesn't say on it, you can buy it before Chag. If it's on that list of things that doesn't need supervision, and you can't find it in kosher Pesach, you can always reach out and ask us. I just wanted to explain to you what the methodology is that we say you can buy it before. Did people understand that? Okay, because everything works through a series and system of rules. Next. All right. Next item we're going to discuss is kitniot, known in America as kitnios. So kitniot means legumes, which is not a word that we generally use in our everyday language, but that kind of mean vegetables. But it's not vegetables like tomato and cucumber. It's specifically legumes would be things like, well, rice is considered it for some reason, even though I don't think rice is considered a legume. But beans are, what else? Fava beans, edamame. Here it says peas, lentils. So too bad lentils aren't good. And then some people also add things like peanuts and soy. But let me explain to you all about kitniot, for those that don't know. What happened was at a certain time, and this is only in Ashkenazic world, in the Sephardic world this wasn't an issue, so that's why Sephardim do eat kitniot. The Torah doesn't say you can't eat kitniot. The Torah says one thing, no chametz. That's it, no chametz. But at some point, I guess the rabbi saw that either there was cross-contamination, maybe, between these fields. Okay, so that you'll have to hold on one second. And actually, you know what you should do? You should look at the OU guide, but you should also you should put it on the Pesach Rabbinic Questions WhatsApp group. But if you're not on the group, you should get on that group, because that's where we ask questions like that, because I don't actually remember about pistachio nuts. Like, I'd have to look it up. But you should get on the WhatsApp group, because that's where everybody asks questions that they can't find in the OU guide or in our FAQ, or, we have all sorts of things like that people ask. So I would look at our FAQ and I would look at the OU guide. And if you don't have an answer, you're welcome to come back to me and then I'll do more research because I learn each time when I don't know the answer. But it's a great question. Those are the kinds of questions that we need to know, which is this food that has an OU hechsher, it seems like it's not kitniot, it seems like it's kosher Pesach, but maybe not. Maybe they put something in the process that has flour on it. I don't know, right? So we have to find out. And usually the OU guide will tell you. Okay, did everybody understand that? Did everybody see the question? JG had asked if she buys pistachio nuts that are OU certified but don't have kosher Pesach, is it okay to buy before? I don't actually have the answer to that question. I would have to research. I don't remember on my own. And I put aside an OU guide, but I left it at Shul. Okay. So what happened was they saw either that people were getting confused, they just didn't remember to differentiate between the 5 kinds of grain, the wheat, the barley, whatever, and other things like, I guess, because you can make flour out of beans and other things, whatever the reason was, they decided kitniot is too confusing for people. They were afraid if people could eat kitniot, that they would end up eating chametz. And chametz is a biblical prohibition. And what's so interesting is that it never became a halacha, a law, a rabbinic law, but it became such a strong minhag, such a strong custom, that in many places it is so taboo that people will not have anything with kitniot. So kitniot are those items and anything that has those items in them. So like, pea soup or maybe margarine or yogurt made with a vegetable stabilizer. That's not, that's kitniot. So there are a few levels of kitniot. There's eating the kitniot themselves, like lentil soup. There's eating something that, like corn syrup. Corn is also one of them. So corn syrup, is in a lot of items in Israel, especially. There's a lot of foods that have kitniot in them because so many people eat kitniot in Israel. A lot of Sephardim, and so there are people who, let's say, won't eat corn, but they'll eat something that has corn syrup or corn stabilizer in it that's kosher for Pesach because you don't see the kitniot, so it's not the same level. Everybody get that? This is not the same as chametz. You can't have, I don't know, a little bit of flour, in anything that's made of, something that's made of oat flour or wheat flour. You can't have anything with chametz. But kitniot is in a whole different category. I want to ask if people understood that thing about kitniot. Was that clear? It's a different level. Oh, a number of medications. So I want to say we'll get to the medications. Medications are in a different category because we need to have medications. So if we really needed to, maybe we could even have a chametz one if we absolutely needed to take it. I'm sorry that I'm sucking a candy, but I keep coughing. But if you need to take a medication and it depends if it's chewable or if you swallow it, then kitniot becomes much less of an issue. Because remember, it's a very strong custom, but it's not a law. And it certainly isn't biblical law. Everybody with me? Everybody still with me? Okay. All right. So I'm going to read it. Among Orthodox, Ashkenazi, and some Sephardic Jews, the custom during Passover is to refrain not only from the 5 grains, but also other grains and legumes. Traditions of what is considered kitniot vary from community to community, include American corn, rice, peas, lentil, and beans, and others include peanuts and soy. The funny thing was that they said that at the time that the prohibition was created, there were no, let's say, peanuts and soy, so why should it be part of it? And others say, oh, but it's so similar to the other ones, people don't remember. At the end of the day, you have to look at a list because it's so hard to remember. We are even strict on kitniot derivatives, such as oils and food stabilizer. But in Israel, many are not. There's very much of a melting pot in Israel. Many Sephardim and Ashkenazim marry with each other, and then you take on the customs. And a lot of Ashkenazim just said, we're done. Like, it's very accepted by most of Israel. That's the kind of food available to us. It was a strong minhag in those days. We don't see any reason to follow it. And they do a hatarat nidarim. They annul the vow and they say, we're done with that. It's very kind. In Israel, there's a real move. Not everywhere, not in every community, but in many. Okay. I just want to remind you that kitniot are not chametz. So you don't have to sell kitniot. because it's not forbidden by the Torah. You're allowed to own it. You're even allowed to have enjoyment from it. You could give your animal, your pet, kitniot. That's not a problem. They sell in Israel special food for cats and dogs for Pesach that are made of kitniot, have no chametz in them. We do not sell kitniot. You only cannot eat them. Okay? Everybody good with that? I really want you to differentiate between kitniot. Like, you could just take all your things that are kitniot, just put them in a bag in your closet, anywhere. You just don't eat them. You could put bambo away. I guess. I don't know if it has any. I think it's only kitniot. But whatever it is, and by the way, for children or people who have specific needs or vegans who have a lot of trouble finding protein on Pesach, because they don't eat dairy, they don't eat fish, right? But where do they get their protein? Usually from legumes. I mean, you can eat nuts, but it's not enough. So there is a hetzer. There is many who permit vegans to have kitniot. That makes a lot of sense, and that shows you already that kitniot could not possibly be chametz, because you wouldn't have a blanket, hetzer to eat that. Yes, during early COVID, many people included kitniot when getting food as a problem. Absolutely. There was more leniency into things that may have kitniot. That is true. Okay, so everybody good with that? Okay. I do want to say there's something, I don't think I put it into the file, something called gebracht. Are people familiar with that? Gebracht or gebracht? I don't know what that actually means, but it has to do with, okay, let me go backwards. The only thing you're allowed to eat from these, maybe, I don't know what the word actually means though. The only thing that you're allowed to eat from these 5 grains is matzah. You're not allowed to take the flour and make anything else with it. In fact, when we want to make cakes, we don't make it with flour unless it's potato starch or cassava flour. We make ground up matzah meal. Right? That's how, correct, or almond flour. But I'm talking about these 5 grains. And people make delicious almond flour things, delicious, which, think about it, gluten-free people do that all the time, all year round. And they've perfected many of the recipes. So, sorry, what was I saying? I'm trying to remember. Where was I? Oh, that you're only allowed to use matzah or ground up matzah, which is matzah mel. But why did I start saying that? Gebracht. So there is a custom which has no real halachic basis, but it became a custom of being more stringent, which happens with Orthodox Jews, that they take on stringencies, chumras. It's no necessarily justification for it, but they still do it. And they said, what if there's a little piece inside the matzah that's still a teeny bit of flour was left there, and then we mix it with water, maybe it'll become chametz stick. Because there's very strict rules about how to put the flour with the water to make matzah. It can only be less than 18 minutes. You have to handle it all the time, not let it stick or sit. So even though there's no real basis for this became a thing, and in more right-wing communities, that I would say is how they identify in a way. I know people from my family who don't have this custom in their family because they live in communities where everybody eats that way. People who don't eat gebrux, they don't eat a liquid with matzah or matzah mel. They only have potato starch cakes or almond flour cakes, for example. And they won't eat off of plates of people who have it, as if on the plate something could have been chametz and gone into the plate. So that's just something that happens not so much in our communities, but just so you know about it. If somebody says gebrux, you should know what they're talking about. Okay. So then we have all sorts of seeds that we don't know, are they considered kitniot or not? And cumin, for example, is not kitniot, so that's yummy for all those who like cumin, like me, chia seeds, pumpkin seeds. But all these are beans, buckwheat, caraway, cardamom, corn, edamame, fennel seeds, fenugreek, green beans, hemp seeds, lentils, millet, mustard, peas, poppy seeds, etc. Everything you see here. Now, don't ask me and say to me, wait, but that doesn't make sense because I'm not the one who sets this up. I'm just telling you what is considered kidneyot by the Orthodox world. And these are not. By the way, we've had cottonseed oil for many years. It's very heavy. I don't recommend it. But if you have to, you do. All these things, anise, carob, chia seeds, all these are all are not considered kidneyot. So you can get oil from them if you wish. Or almond oil, or you see people had peanut oil that went out of vogue. You know, things kind of take different turns. People like to be much more stringent for whatever reason. The following may be kidneyot and therefore are not used: amaranth and peanuts, because it hasn't been decided, I guess. Now, what if you have something that is not food? It's not edible. You're not allowed to have chametz that's edible and or that's a food item and get any enjoyment out of it. But non-food items are not edible, don't fall into the category of what's forbidden on Pesach. So all of these things, unless you know that they have like flour on it or something, aluminum foil was coated with flour would be a problem. Otherwise, and you can find these in the guides. It'll be very clear. So all of these things are not an issue. You don't have to look for kosher lePesach. Even if they put kosher lePesach on it, you don't have to. It's not necessary. Charcoal, here's the thing. It turns out that charcoal briquettes sometimes have some flour in them as a binding. So loose charcoal, all unflavored, is fine. You know, it's just some information just to show you how varied it is and how much you have to look things up, unless you just buy in a kosher store and you're done. And then you know everything in it is fine. Toiletries. New toothbrushes, I would say, are a must. I would say new toothbrushes are strongly recommended. Why is that?
And clean your teeth with it.
Exactly. And it can be difficult to really clean it well, but you could. Or
But
maybe
it's not
you're
so
supposed to
expensive.
replace your toothbrushes every 3 months, according to my friend, the
Right.
dental hygienist.
Right.
So that's a great time to do it, is before Pesach. All
And that-
unflavored.
I was just like, that's something that's reasonable to purchase.
Yeah, that's true. Well, if you have to change it every 3 months anyway, so then, you know.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Floss and picks, if they're unflavored, they don't need kosher Pesach, toothpaste and mouth. So some people say because it's not edible, then you don't have to worry. You don't actually eat the toothpaste and the mouthwash. You don't swallow it. So some people say, so if you can find one with kosher Pesach, you might as well. My family always had the custom to have just a new toothpaste,
A new tube.
which is what
right.
I do. But you know, you can feel comfortable looking for one with kosher Pesach. You're fine either way, in my opinion.
And they have.
And there are Felice. And then toothpaste there's a whole bunch of them. So it's not a problem finding them. There are mouthwashes that are. But if you have a need, like sometimes somebody reached out to me and said, I have a medicinal need for a specific kind of toothpaste or a specific kind of mouthwash. So what's nice is that built into the halakha that there are ways to say, yeah, that's okay. Or people who have children or people who have special allergies. There's one woman who reached out to me and says, I don't know what to do. My child is like allergic to everything, and we're afraid if we stop giving her bamba every day, which is kosher lePesach, but it's kidneyot, that she'll become allergic to it. And I said, that's not even a question. I mean, but it was good she reached out. So anything health issue is a big deal. A big deal that if it's health related, please reach out. Pills that are swallowed, not derech achila, the way we usually eat, and they're not fit for dog consumption. Like imagine, I don't know, Advil or anything like that. You can't give it, the animal can't chew that. You can just swallow them on Pesach because you're not eating them. Gel caps are a problem. It turns out there's chametz in the gel caps. If it's possible to find a replacement, that's preferable. But if you have to take something and it only comes in gel cap form, or the gel cap is what works for you, then you can take it. We're more lenient about medicines containing kidneyot, obviously, than food. And you can look in the Starcade to find information about medicines. Like, I don't have to tell you each one. You can find it yourself. vitamins. If they're non-chewable, it falls into the like medicines. If it's chewable, you check with your doctor. I, for example, take the V-Active, the chocolate chews. They're small, and that has vitamin D in it. No, not vitamin D. It has it has calcium in it because I can't take the calcium pills. So I asked my doctor, he said, just don't take them for 8 days. Not a problem. Actually, 7 days because I take them Erev Pesach and then I take one on the eighth day at night. So it's really only days,
In between.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 1 week. 7 days I don't take. He said it's fine. Makes no difference to skip it for 7 days. So, but if it had kidney oat in it, which is what it has probably because I'm gluten free. So if it had any chametz in it, except for oats, which is very unusual, and it doesn't have oats on the packaging, then it wouldn't be a problem for me to take them because the most it would have is kidney oat. Everybody get that? When I say the most it would have, okay. Pet food with only kidney oat is not a problem because we're allowed to have enjoyment, but we can't eat it, but our pets can eat it. If your pet will only eat a chametz diet, check what to do. As I said, you have to probably sell your pet and sell the food, and then you take care of it for the person. Now, cosmetics. They're not edible, but you might want to look at the lipstick that you use to make sure. I don't know if a little piece came out. I mean, I don't think that happens as a rule, but it could. If you are unsure of the listing, there's Ask CRC. It's a really cute site. And there's CRC Kosher, and it can tell you about a specific lipstick if you're worried.
Excuse me, Brecha. What about a brand new tube of any kind of lipstick? Is that okay? Or like lip gloss? I think unflavored.
From my opinion, it's totally fine.
Thank you.
Any other question or clarification or something about Pesach that's unclear that you feel like I'm not sure what to do? I'm feeling not confident. Any ideas, any thoughts?
I just want to say one thing. I was told it's better to buy unwaxed floss and waxed. Because a lot of times I have mint flavor that come with flavor.
Well, that's what I wrote in there.
Yeah,
without
right.
Flavoring.
Yeah, anything without flavor.
No, it's in there. It's in the file.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you.
And then you might find that if you look on the CRC or some site, it'll tell you there's a flavored one that's okay. So, it's worth looking. So,
yes. Mm-hmm.
Any questions? Open day for asking questions. Yeah, Juliet.
Praveen, for example, the meat is not kosher for Passover. If I have in the freezer, I just can put it in a black bag and leave it in there, or I have to sell it?
The meat?
Yes, meat. There is no kosher.
So that's a great question. So meat, chicken, fish. If it's 100% meat, chicken, or fish, 100%, then as long as you buy before Pesach, it falls under that rule that if there happens to be a pinch, a teeny weeny speck of chametz, it'll be nullified. So you can just use it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
I have myself some chicken that's frozen that we bought, 100% chicken. So I'm keeping it for Pesach.
Because we went to Evergreens and we get like more than a weekend.
Yeah. No, it's great. But chopped meat is more complicated.
No, I don't have chopped meat.
Well, that's the question.
Yes.
Is if it's 100% chopped meat.
Right.
But it still is a little more complicated. So if somebody happened to buy and they wanted to use it, I would have them reach out to me so we could talk about it.
Okay.
Great question. Great. I remember you asked that Monday and I said, you got to ask that at the food one.
Oh,
what else? What other questions do people have? If you came on, it feels like you came on with a question. What's your question? No question? Everything clear? Okay. Go you! And I didn't give you an answer. So that didn't really help you, did it? Oh, I don't know about the pistachio nuts. I'm sorry. But we can look it up. You can look it up. And if you can't find it, let me know. Because OU should have it in their booklet or online.
Right.
But I'm happy to help if somebody can't find it.
I know. I would suggest you looking in the kosher store like Black Shop or North Riverdale and see if they have any pistachios with OUP.
That wasn't her question, though. Her question was, if I buy OU before Pesach and it doesn't have P, can I still use it on Pesach? It's a different question.
Oh, no, but I'm saying, but I always felt personally in my family, it's preferable if you could find the POK. Otherwise, you have
It
to.
depends on the item. That's not
Yeah,
a blanket statement. And if you happen to have food in your home that you can use and you don't have to go out and buy, it's better. No, I understand the packaged.
yeah,
Well, it
yeah,
would be loose. I don't know how it could be loose, but I understand that it's packaged. I just don't know what goes into pistachio nuts. I just don't know.
yeah.
I'd love to say yes. I just don't know. But and I
I,
don't have an OU guide. I'm sorry. I don't. It's in now. OU also says they also make their money that way, so it's a little hard to know. Some stores sell nuts that you scoop out. Oh, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, but you told me it was OU. That's why I thought it was packaged because you said it was OU. Hechsher on it. That's why I thought you were saying it was packaged.
yeah, that's
But
what
that's
it
not
sounds.
the question. Is I don't know. Is it salt? Maybe if it's not salted, it's okay. Maybe if it's roasted, I think it's worth. It is definitely worth checking, and it's very possible that it is okay. I know people sometimes go to, like if they're not roasted in any way. I don't know. Maybe it's okay. People go like nuts are a big issue because they're so expensive. Pistachio and sea salt. Yeah, yeah, I see that. Let me see if it's in our FAQ because I don't actually remember from last year. Okay, let's see nuts. Okay, nuts and seeds. Unroasted, raw, unblanched, without additives, do not need kosher for Pesach supervision. There you go. It's in our FAQ.
Hmm.
I think that salt is not considered an additive. There you go. All right. But I just want to tell you that we have an FAQ for that. That's where it is. That's
That's
why we
good.
have a file like that because
That's
people
good.
ask these questions and then I want to make sure other people have access to the answers. So you
And
should know that if you have more questions like that, thank you. If you have more questions like that, you are so welcome to look. Now, anybody can go to thebayit.org/Pesach, and then you'll see the links to all our files. So you don't have to remember them. You can just, you can print them out if you want, or just peruse them as you need them.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rabbi Lebracha. My question would be like, if you use something mentioned before, a scoop. Not only people that are kosher or Jewish may be buying scoop, nuts, and you don't know what they wash the scoop with. So I would tend to stay away from
I
anything
know,
scoop.
but I mean,
Yeah, but you
you
don't
look
know.
at it and you inspect it. If it's loose, I would inspect them, and if
Ah,
there's nothing else on them, I mean, I agree it doesn't feel
yeah,
as good, but
yeah,
what are they going to
right.
do? Smear the scoop with chametz? Like, what would they put on it?
No, I mean, in a store that sells like just nothing, they sell not not a kosher store. I'm saying another customer could come
Well,
in.
we're talking about raw, unroasted, unblanched, without additives. So
But
what
if
they
you use
wash it
this,
with, that's not going to make it chametz. That's not going to make a tray for
oh,
chametz stick.
mhm.
No, 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 no.
No, I'm
Soap is
saying
not. One second,
okay,
please.
okay.
Soap is not edible. There's
Of
no
course
problem,
not.
and they don't leave soap on the scoop.
No,
So
no, no,
I
no.
don't.
Oh,
Elise, one second. I'm
okay, okay,
answering
okay.
the other woman.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
It's
sure.
okay. So I would not worry. She wrote that what they wash the scoops, no problem. You can wash it with whatever soap you want. Now, if they told you they put oil on it or something, I don't know, but that's what we're talking about: unroasted, raw, unblanched, without additives. That's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand if they're open and raw, you have to check it out, and see what the situation is.
No,
Yes, Felice, did you have another
I,
question?
no, that I wasn't referring to. I was referring
I
to
know
a
what you were, but she was, so I was answering her
oh,
question.
okay. You answered her question. My comment was that somebody who's not even Jewish could be in the store, and let's say they're eating an ice cream cone, and they go to scoop out something they don't know that it might have a piece
Well,
of a.
first of all, I hope people don't let food fall in. That's awful anyway.
I know, but you know how the people on stores. I've seen
Well,
things
here's the
that.
thing. So you take out and you come home and you check it and you make
Yeah,
sure there's nothing
yeah.
there. I
Well,
don't.
now I just feel that it's in New York City, especially, you get things that package. It has the OUP. You have to worry about anything.
I heard that. And
Yeah.
yet, if you have something in your home and you can use it, I suggest to use it. You don't want to spend more money and have to put things away. I always go through my closet and I check what I have there before Pesach starts.
Mm-hmm. It's just custom, what you feel comfortable
I don't
with.
even think that's a custom. I think, that's something that can change. Like, it's easier to just buy everything from scratch, but it's more expensive. And if you can do and you can learn, why not? So,
Yeah, you have choices.
all right, my friends. Any other questions? Are we good? Great. Any questions, you can always reach out. Look at our Pesach page. Bye, my friends. Be well. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye bye.